Let's go ahead, start with the meeting. First, pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which is the Thank you. Next item, roll call, question 5, council members present, all 5 are here. Next item, consider approving the minutes held from October 23rd. I make a motion to approve the minutes. Well, thanks for making second, but didn't all. Thank you. Next item up, Michelle would like to say congratulations on your hard work. Kelly, congratulations. We're forward to working with you on the board. Congratulations on your hard.
Perfect, thank you.
He's all right. Something old sneaker. Very old sneaker. Yeah, congratulations. Next order of business is talk about the middle road property.
So, I know you wanna keep it for a cemetery. The Reynolds family who previously owned it did reach out. They were wondering if they could buy it back. I've had 5 or 6 inquiries from people wanting to purchase that plot of land as well. But if we are keeping it, I think we need to clean it up. We need to get rid of the trailer. It's a health hazard, looks horrible. And if we could get permission to do that, I could probably round up crew to do that. And I think Dylan can take the trailer at the transfer station. I don't believe it's salvageable. Oh, God, no.
No, doesn't look it.
No, it's.
I'd make a motion, we authorize them to clean up that lot, make it safe.
So did we vote to keep that as a cemetery?
No,
Or did I miss that?
no.
Okay. So what do we choose to do with it?
It was acquired
Tax acquired.
3 years ago. I think, yeah, 3 years, quite a while ago. And when it was our first thought, and because of the Cottle Road Village Cemetery is running out of space, plus we know Lakeview was brought to our attention. And said, hey, we ought to start thinking about, the cemetery. And so that's what we said at that time. It wasn't, we didn't say, let's put a shopping mall there. We just said, we do need some land for a cemetery. And if you go by the Cottle Road or if you want to, people do want to be buried, so it's what it is.
And it's 40 acres of flat land.
So
It's very hard to find a piece like that in Oakland.
Right. My thought is that if legally, we can only keep what is due to us with taxes
Yes,
and have to give the rest of it back. If we keep it, and use it as a cemetery, we sell the lots on the cemetery. And we keep the money until all our money that is spent is collected. And then for the next 100 years, we're paying the family back. Is that correct, or am I way off base?
no, it's only if we go through a realtor, list the property, sell the property for X amount of dollars. We keep what the back taxes, what it's cost us to do all this, and then they get the rest of the money back, but I think if we use it as a purpose like that, that wouldn't stand.
So, Mr. Borman, then Angela, 1 second.
That law is retroactive to having to reimburse the landowner.
I believe so.
I didn't think so. I thought it was only property that was foreclosed on after the law was generated.
Fact,
That's the way I read it.
that's not the way. I don't.
Can we contact MMA on that?
We certainly most can, yes.
Are you all done? Anyone?
Well, I'm just thinking, because what happens, if that's the case, what happens to other property that we acquired and sold, do we have to give that money?
No,
What do you
we
think?
sold it for the law.
I thought it was just one that was.
That's the only piece we have, so.
Angela?
Yeah, we know the Reynolds family and
I'm sorry.
we know the Reynolds family.
Yep.
And my son used to hunt that piece of property and he says there's a lot of swampland as you get off the road more. So that, just so you know, it's not gonna be a lot of firewood land, like, if it's gonna be a cremation place, it would be fine, because you can fill it in, but just so that you know, when you come to sell it, it is swampy.
So the motion is made by Mr. Ridley.
Well, so I think we don't know if it's suitable then, and we ought to check that. We also ought to check the law. Because like, Mr. Woman, I thought, I honestly don't know the answer, but I couldn't believe that it was retroactive because
Yeah.
how far retroactive? I mean, we've got several pieces of land. We have to go back and find the owner 20 years ago. We need to answer that question. I don't think there's anything stopping us from cleaning it up, sure.
But would that be a lien on the property? If we disposed of a dangerous situation?
It's our property.
Yeah.
It's been our property.
Since 2018.
It would add to the expenses that we incurred owning that piece of property over the year. I would think.
So do we want to table this and wait until we come back to the first week in December, or
I think it needs to be cleaned up.
needs to be cleaned up? Motion is made to clean up, to remove the trash and, the old building is there. Motion made by Dan, do we have a second? Second, all in favor? Thank you, man. Good to go. Next one, the new business tonight is a library policy update.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. We have a policy that I have a provision in there that we can make certain rules or put a patron's membership on hold or whatever if they're not fulfilling their requirements of bringing back their items that they've taken out. But the board, the advisory board wanted to make it the rule a little bit more specific, so it doesn't seem like we would be picking on somebody or making different rules for everyone. We wanted it to be the same rule across the board for habitual offenders not bringing back books and just paying fines. And we have to reorder books and people are waiting for books, so it's a lot of extra money that we're spending and time, and people get frustrated, so they won't come to the library if they can't get the books that they want. So the advisory board came up with wording to be a little bit more specific on the rule. So I don't know if you have the new rule that they wrote. Under number 4. Does everybody have a printout?
Yeah. It's double-sided, so.
It's number 4 under circulation policy on page 3. It was highlighted for the change that the advisory board wrote. So basically, it's just limiting people that are habitual offenders to limit them to 2 books for 30 days until they bring back their books.
You have a lot of patrons that have like.
Yeah, we do, and unfortunately, they grab the new books. It's always the new books, and there's a movie coming out, there's a book club wanting to read the book, so it's not circulated. We end up having to buy another copy, or people are they get frustrated, so this is just to address the people that are waiting for books.
Is that the sentence that says the Oakland Public Library requires patrons having books overdue 30 days or more will only be permitted to check out 2 books per visit?
Correct, yes, that statement.
That seems overly generous to me. If they've already owed you for books and they haven't brought them in, to let them take any more.
Well, that would be after they brought back the books. They either bring back the books, they pay the fines, or they pay for a replacement copy.
Okay,
So that would be after they brought back those books. If they don't, I suspend them. And they can't take books out until they're permanent. So this, a lot of people will take out books and not bring them back And then they pay the fine, they pay the placement fee, but then they do it again. They're over and over.
Questions.
Yes,
Aren't they still gonna do that if you say, once they brought back the books, pay the fine, they
possibly
can take out 2 more books?
they can,
They're gonna keep those 2 books for 30
right,
days.
but they
I
are
mean,
less,
this is a virtual effect.
right, they can, but they're.
And then they're gonna do the same thing.
15 books. The normal limit is 15 books, so 2 books is a lot more tolerable than 15. I mean, if I can bring the wording back to the advisory board and tell them that.
I just feel like that's still not even a slap in the face, it's, a slap on the hand.
Yeah.
It's, okay, so I just can take out 2 books. Which is probably what they're doing anyway, and holding them for 30 days,
Possibly.
I think it's fine to try that, see how you make out with it, if you need to toughen it up some more, go for it.
Okay.
I don't know how others feel, but. You toughen it up some, if it still doesn't do what you need, toughen it up some more.
Okay. Can I bring it back?
Do you have a sense of how many books those people typically take out that they don't bring back? Is it just 2?
No, a lot of them are 15 because they have, like, a family of 5 will have, 4 kids, they all go down and get 15 children's books, all new ones. And then the adults take out, maybe the adults might take out 2 to 5 to 10 to 15, it depends. So lots of times it's the kids' books at 15 each.
So a family of 5 could take out 60 books.
Right,
Have they addressed that? Is that too big of a number? How, if they're not bringing them back and they got the 15 books out, even if they do bring them back on time. That's a lot of books to take out of circulation.
there's a lot of books, right? That is something that we could probably maybe button down on too.
Mr. Nutty?
I don't have any problem with this change, but there's a grammatical correction that needs to be made. If you read the sentence, and I apologize for being the grammatician.
No, that's okay.
The Oakland Public Library requires patrons having books overdue 30 days or more will only be. Makes no sense. It needs the word that after required. Requires that patrons.
Requires that
Just-
patrons, that requires that patron, okay, all you can say.
Public library requires that patrons. Having books overdue 30 days or more will only be.
Okay.
Without. Sorry. Because of that.
Give it that. Thank you.
And to correct my math, it would actually be 75 books.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's just impressive.
Which is worse, I was just trying to lighten it up a little bit.
Let's get, it's supposed to buy $35. A lot of money. What's on this?
You all set? You still talking, you got, you need more?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm good, thank you.
We voting for it. I move that we make that.
Motion's made, move second, all in favor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela, you had a question?
Well, not about her, before we get too far on the Reynolds property, wouldn't it be best to just review the law first? And then if you decide to sell it back to the family, let them take care of the cost? Because I know like the families involved, where they have their own, they work for a company that's trash removal and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be more, instead of putting more of a burden in the family, if they choose to buy it back and you allow it, that instead of adding more to the tax bill, let them take care of it if they can do it in so many days?
Bill?
So I had actually emailed MMA legal and this is what they said. The requirements and special sales procedure outlined in 36 MRS 943C, which is the law, apply once the municipality chooses to sell the tax acquired property to someone other than the former owner. This is the case regardless of whether the property was tax acquired by the municipality before the new sales procedure in 943C was enacted. Therefore, if the municipality chooses in 2024 to sell the property that was tax acquired in 2018 to someone other than the former owner, the notice and special sales procedure would apply. Moreover, if the property is sold, the municipality would be required to pay the former owner any sale proceeds in excess of certain costs identified in the statute. Taxes, interest, fees, incurred expenses, etc. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So does that mean if you clean the property up, town's expense, and then sell the property back to the family, that you would keep the cost of cleanup? Is that right?
We could build costs of living.
Right.
Sure, cleaned up. Where if we sold it back to them, it wasn't cleaned up, we'd have to go through we'd have to get Nate, on their case to try to clean up their property, and that's a long drawn out situation.
Can I add a comment to this?
Right.
So this is, my
Can you
family.
tell us who you are, ma'am?
Yes, my name's Renee Reynolds,
Let's go.
yes, so we're not looking for any like back payment towards the property, just looking to regain family property back, and I don't know if that helps towards anything or not. It was my husband's grandmother, she was now deceased, and his uncle lost it on big taxes. We're now in a spot that we weren't before when he had it in his same tax spot, so that's why we were inquiring a bit, if that's incurred. So, but not looking for any money towards the company, I mean, towards the property.
Next item up is the transfer station discussion. We had the discussion, Kelly?
So we had an inspection done and we had made some adjustments. One of the recommendations from the state was begin having residents place their MSW into the provided roll-offs immediately. So we did that. It's been a learning curve for Dylan and his crew. One instance that we're running into is staffing. Cause they have to have one person standing up there at all times to either help residents or assist them and see what they're throwing in and kind of direct them. When one of our employees was out sick today, so Public Works ended up sending up a guy to help, and one of the Public Works guys has been going in there on the weekends and helping him move the cans and stuff, so I don't know if we want to address that now or during budget season, but it's taking a toll, and I think one more full-time person up there, and then with new trick. We can think on that. Another hopeful thought would be to have an 8x8x8 building up on the pad for them to get warm. Pretty windy up there, cold up there in the winter. Have a little buddy heater, electric heater. PJ did send me a quote, he could build one with insulation for about $1,500. So, I don't know if Dylan's budget could handle that or not.
That's something I'd have to look into.
Okay.
I say yes, no to that.
Okay. And then our. Disposal and Gregory's. Stopped dumping on the pad, so we had a meeting up there, came up with a solution. To allow them to continue to dump, but we haven't done it yet, we're gonna put a berm. On pavement in one piece of on the pad, so that Dylan can then, so the leachate won't leak out. only the commercial haulers will be able to dump in that area. And then Dylan or whoever was operating the loader will be able to go right over and dump it into the roll-off. So Dylan is gonna look into see if there's something that we can, some sort of ramp. So they can dump right into the roll-off. So we gotta get kind of creative here, so if you have any ideas. Be helpful. I don't know, Dylan, you wanna speak on kind of how it's been going?
Um, it's, it's been going okay. It's been quite a learning curve for a lot of the public to change something that they've been doing for 30 years. I know for us on our end, it's added a significant amount of work that we've never had before, and we're trying to learn as we go. And it's put us in a nice spot, back us into a corner on trying to achieve everything that needs to be done in a timely and effective manner, being one person shy of really filling every role that's necessary up there. And it, as I said, it's working-ish. It's working okay. It needs to be refined, needs to be worked on a little bit, but we are trying to make it as effective as possible. And that's,
Yeah, and we've had a lot of positive comments about not having the trash on the path, so.
Alan?
I had hours for it.
Yes.
I've only been to the transfer station once since that has been put place by the state. I'm nothing but over. What? No, probably do a lot over there, grand cold day. I'm looking at my something like that.
I agree, it's certainly changed the atmosphere and the conditions of that area. And I think they've done a very good job managing it. We have some obstacles, and I think it'd be an excellent thing to throw in front of the transfer station committee to get ideas. As budget comes around, the decision might be, the transfer stations only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you put more labor into those 4 days and not on Wednesday. Maybe that's not something that the public wants, they'd rather put it in the budget. So, I think this is a good start. And I guess we work on it until we get enough input from people to make a decision.
Thank you. Mr. Nutter?
Yeah, I was there this afternoon, actually, and the place really looks nice, and like, a lot of credit to Dylan and his crew. It looks great, and I like the idea of maybe the committee. Certainly need something to keep the guy warm. We're gonna hire somebody to stand up there. Even today, it's not even winter, it was cold the way they did it. We need to do something, I'm not sure what the best something is. And I think between Dylan and the committee, they could figure something out by the next meeting or so that we can either do something now or at least get it on the budget. I think we probably can't wait for
We
the
can't maybe.
next budget. We need to do something before winter replaces.
I'll start next.
I should probably, so the transfer committee is still active, right?
Absolutely, yes,
For several weeks left.
right.
I mean, so we will understand.
Then you get through elections, that's my job tomorrow.
Well, it's gonna go for tomorrow. Make it us.
Meeting schedule.
But I will say there was, we all chilling the end around on a whole day. Without, honestly, that a lot of stuff can definitely be written and flying quickly.
Thank you.
People.
Thank you.
The next item up is item number 4. Starting would like to speak on that?
Item number 4 is the recent election for the Budget Advisory Committee. There were 2 people who were on the ballot and elected, Michelle Fontaine and Tina Hogue. Those 2 people were elected for a 4-year term. About 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the law changed about write-in ballots. In the old days, before the law was changed, you could take someone like Mr. Rankin, Mr. Morissette, I'm sorry. If he had the most number of ballots beyond, he was third in the ballots, then he would have been elected to serve a 4-year term. But because the law was changed and write-in candidates are only counted if they are pre-recorded or pre-notified, so that even on early voting, the names of the people who allowed accept write-in votes are posted somewhere. They posted if they had been any, and there were not. And if there had been any, could be elected with write-in ballots, those would have had to been posted on the bill. So the end result is that we have 2 candidates who are on the ballot and elected, and we now have plus 1 to replace a gentleman who resigned this past year. So we will, for next year, have 2 openings. And the council can, the council shall fill those 2 vacancies by the majority vote of the council for a period of only 1 year. In the past, we may have occasionally just thrown in another one and said it was for 4 years, but there's nothing in our charter that allows. Charter only allows the council to put somebody in for a period of 1 year until the next election. So, having said all that, we have 2 people on. We will have 2 vacancies going into next year. The council has to replace those people. But we don't need to do it until January. So I'm going to move that we table this item until the first meeting in January. And during which period we allow anybody who's a resident who has interest being in the Budget Advisory Committee to make their wishes known to the town manager or the town clerk. And then the council will review those people's names and choose to serve 1 year until the next election. That's why I move.
Motion's made, do we have a second? Second, all in favor? That item up, is accepted, any risk reduction grant, Ellen?
So every year, Maine Municipal Association does risk reduction grants to improve on safety and stuff like that. This year, AJ put it out to all the department heads, like, anybody need anything? They do cameras and motion lights and you name it. So AJ's new van did not come with a backup camera or an alarm. So we were able to get both of those, well, if we accept the money, we can get both of those. And the 5 Jersey barriers at the transfer station. And all of that totals $1,964.34. So I'm asking to set that money. And I'll send a reimbursement out.
I'd make a motion, we accept that, and I'm really surprised the commercial van didn't come with a backup alarm, they've had one for years.
Motion's been made, do we have a second?
Ford.
Second by Mr. Grover, all in favor? That is all at this time. Mr. Grover, do you have anything? Well, I don't have executive session, so. You have the manager, when?
We were able to, now that the election is over, Jan's crew did amazing. We were able to get back to sewer, so this is July, August, September. sewer commitment that we were able to print off with you today. So we have people calling wanting their sewer bills.
Good.
Yeah.
Fine.
So that's that. The holiday schedule's coming up. We only have one meeting this month. We have two meetings next month on the first and third Wednesday of December. And then I guess year past, on December 24th, which is Christmas Eve, we closed at noon. We've had. And it's a weekday, so. It's a Wednesday.
Me too today. You've done
Yeah, we're so.
that. It's on Tuesday, though.
Yes. Christmas is on a Wednesday, that's right. And then we'll work Thursday. And then. So maybe just asking to allow at least the town office to, for non-essential personnel, library. And for station.
I'd make a motion that we allow you to take.
Non-essential personnel
Time shut off on the day before Christmas.
at noon.
Non-essential personnel.
Perfect, thank you.
Motion's been made, we have a second. All in favor? Opposed?
No, I'm not opposed, just, what do you do for the essential people?
What's the 911?
Fine, what? Something? Everybody gets to go home and they're still here. No thought.
Something, let's see. Have Chief Severed and Lieutenant Cowan here, they would like to talk about some of their new equipment.
Yeah, we just finished,
Come on down. Bring the lieutenant, I call him lieutenant anyway, but.
We have finished our first qualifications with our new firearms that we purchased. This past budget cycle, so I'm gonna let Lieutenant Cowan tell us what that went.
Yeah, just some feedback for the town and the council. We implemented our first phase of the firearms process that we did last budget cycle, which was the pistols. And basically, just to refresh everybody's memory, we were transitioning from a Glock pistol with iron sights to an HK pistol with an optic, red dot optic. And we're also going from a 45 caliber down to a 9mm. I say down because there's some controversy as to which is more effective, but you're carrying a lot more rounds with 9mm or 45. So I have been a firearms instructor for almost 20 years. I've never seen scores like I saw in the range the other day. Just about the entire department shot almost an instructor qual score, which is 48 out of 50 rounds. And I've never seen that for the entire department.
That's awesome.
So and obviously, as you know, that the town has a lot of liability in a police involved shooting, of course. And so, especially if we have rounds going where they shouldn't be going. So that's a huge reduction in liability for sure. Just be there. And
You have in your hand.
yeah, so these are the shields. These are gonna go out to our school resource officers. Jump in here if you wanna.
They were one, well, Chris and I were just getting into a place where we had shields that probably weighed 67 pounds.
Twice
Easily. This thing weighs, I don't know the exact weight, but it's very light. You can hold that for 10-15 minutes and they've come a long ways and they can stop most rounds.
Yeah, so we've outfitted these with the school resource officers and these are very important. We've all seen the video from Uvalde. Where the shooter is barricaded in behind a door, and obviously whoever's going through that door first is gonna take a round for sure. And I think that was probably some of their hang up. Nobody wants that to happen. But with this, everyone just stacks behind and they can shoot this all day. This will stop rifle rounds and.
That MBX comes off, right?
Yep, you feel this, and so the lead guy, this is bulletproof, is bullet resistant. as well, so.
Yeah.
Yep. We purchased, we purchased at least on the front of it,
We were able to get 3 of them too, and we thought they were gonna be, $50,000, and we got 3 of them for 7. So it saves.
I'll spend the school year with the SROs and, when school lets out, we'll have cruisers, so they'll be accessible if we need them. But we felt that during the school year, that's what they should be, that's not important.
Angela, you had a question?
Well, it's to the schools, like during the lockdown, so kids can see what they are, so they're not scared of them.
Our SROs are accessible to all the kids, point, you know. Well, no, they're not gonna be locked up, they're readiness for a while.
We ever had a lockdown registration?
think back when it's audit days, there was, you went for a grant to get some extra ones and you were. Denied because they thought you were having for riot pass or something like that.
Just feel like a grant for the tactical year.
Yeah, but
Denied them.
was there any other grants that you've seen since or still looking for?
All that are out right now, there are some, just not ones that I can write right now, but I'm always looking. I'm always looking.
Cause I think it's essential to try to get some more, so we can get the cruisers equipped with them.
I agree 100%.
So good.
Rick,
About it. What was your question?
What is there, was there ever a lockdown on our school district? We had several lockdowns that were actually one where the gun was in the school. Fortunately, we were able to get to the student before it became that situation.
Better to be prepared than not. Thank you, Rick. That's it.
Before you do that, both of you, I want to thank both of you. Because, and Kelly, because when this started, right now, some of you don't know, there's a lot of other police departments around the area that are really fighting to get enough police officers. And by Kelly and Rick and, I'm sorry, Chief, my fellow police sergeant, and Lieutenant over there, by them pushing this forward, it's really helped out. And I know a couple of the police officers have just come on and from other departments, and they are so pleased of how our department is looking ahead. And so pleased with the, the progressive thought of the new weapons and the shields. And so it makes a big difference and it helps our town be safer. So thank you, all 3 of you, for working on that. Thank you very much.
And for the support of the council and the town as well, it's important the guys have good equipment. Obviously, they're putting their lives on the line, believe it or not, every time they go out there, you never know who you're gonna come across, whether it's spillover from Waterville or whatever, so. The equipment here means a big difference, and that's a good recruitment tool as well, so.
I think probably a lot of the citizens in Oakland don't know, police department has 2 full-time lady police officers now. That domestic violence and stuff like that, young girls get abused and they don't have to talk to one of these ugly looking guys. I think it's tremendous that you guys have put to, just a couple of ladies in the department.
And Grace will have that.
They both seem like real nice people and.
They do a fantastic job.
Good job, Chief. Good job, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Kelly. That was all Kelly had as manager's update. Dave, do you have anything for that?
I'm still all set.
Mr. Woolman.
Just one thing for the council and upcoming budget. The Great Lakes Dam Committee has presented their budget for the upcoming year. I know there's some discussion in our budget meeting, town meeting last year about do we have enough money on hand if we had an issue? And they were able to come up with a budget that actually went down for our town, but still had an extra $15,000 to add to the contingency fund. So they feel that, with $30,000 of catastrophic backup, they still were able to give I think it was 7% discount to each of the towns. And our amount is about 11,000.
Mr. Knight,
I'm good.
at this time, we'd like to enter into executive session under MRS one. 4056A. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in tonight.
Will you be returning to regular session after that?
No, sir.
Doesn't, you know.